Oh my gosh, it's easy to talk to. Diving into this new world of asthma was initially really confusing. I sort of felt like, wait, we have asthma? It just felt like a lot. And there's this nebulizer that your little baby's breathing into, and this new medication, and it felt overwhelming. And also worrying about how long does an episode last?
I feel like I had no control over, the one time in my life I had no control over anything. I felt so frustrated, I felt lonely. I just kind of felt like nobody really understood, because you're dealing with something that usually happens at night. You're not sleeping, your child's not sleeping. There's so many other aspects of asthma that your child can't breathe and you have no idea why, and you feel helpless.
It just felt like a whole world that I was discovering that I didn't understand, and I really needed someone that I could talk to about it. And we happened to have a friend that moved into our congregation at church. And I approached her and said, I've got questions about asthma, and I've heard that you have a child with asthma. And I remember she came to my house one night and she brought a stethoscope that she had, and she just taught me basics about asthma that I had never understood before. She talked to me about how to listen to Matthew's lungs, and suddenly I had a friend that I could say, isn't this the worst? And really kind of open up about what I was experiencing and feeling. And it felt like this new network in my life of communication and help that I hadn't had before, that I was really grateful for.
I mean, there were just really scary times when we didn't know, and watching your child struggle to breathe is really terrifying in a whole new way. Of course, I had known that my neighbor had struggled with her daughter, but I didn't understand how scary it is to really watch your child struggling to breathe. So being able to have someone who I could connect with in those late hours, that was just such a gift. And I would text her late and think, oh, I hope she's still awake. And I would have loved to have a bigger network of moms to talk to. That would have been amazing, to feel like I wasn't just relying on this one person seeing my text or being able to take my phone call.
So I actually love the idea of being connected with other asthma moms. I love that I was able to get a hold of my old roommate and be able to talk with her and to find out her experiences. I think when you know someone's gone through something, you feel more comfortable sharing how you really feel about something. So once I talked with my friend, I started to do some research about mold, and I realized that there's different kinds of molds. There's not just black mold, but there's garden mold, and that can be something that can trigger asthma. And so I ended up getting my house tested. This friend kind of told me, she said, you need to test your house and see if this is what it is. And so I tested for mold, and it happened that there was tons of mold in our house, and the person that came out to see our house said that we were living in a swamp.
I feel like rather than having to explain myself to a friend, like, do you know what it feels like to feel terrified for your child's life? I can say to a friend that is struggling with the same thing, oh, we had a really bad night last night and Matthew's doing better, but it was a long night. And that friend immediately knows what I've experienced, and they'll ask educated questions like, well, how often has he been using his rescue inhaler? Or is he on prednisone now? What additional things is he being treated with? And that connection with friends has made such a lift. Even though the problem is still there, the problem feels different for me.
I don't think we were reassured by the pediatrician. We were treated, given our tools, and sent on our way. But reassurance and my confidence that I could do this as a mom and that my little boy would be fine, that came through my connection to my neighbor, for sure.